Because I was a little hazy.
Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. This proceeding is being broadcast on Channel 35. The exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35. Board of Water and Power Commissioners, please say present for roll call. Commissioner NURIT KATZ. Present. Commissioner LEHRER.
Present.
President KATZ.
Present.
Vice President MCGRAW. Commissioner PINDER. 4 board members. A quorum is present. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get right into this today so we can go through the agenda expeditiously. Any comments by commissioners?
Yeah, I have a couple comments. One, I wanted to say, because I was unable to be here in person at the last meeting, that I greatly appreciated the presentation by staff on our water planning, and just want to emphasize how critical it is that we continue to push forward and ensure that we have strong implementation plans for 70%, as well as to look at stronger plans for stormwater and continue to explore what's feasible so that we are prepared for the heavy rain years that will inevitably come with climate change. So thank you all for your continued leadership on that and look forward to the continued updates. And then also just wanted to say a thank you to the department for an excellent event yesterday, which I participated in along with our CEO, where we did air conditioning giveaway for seniors. This one was located in Pacoima to serve the Northeast San Fernando Valley. And having grown up in the Valley, I know the pain of extreme heat in the Valley very well, and that's only getting worse. So this is such an important program, and it was so well received by the community. So just wanted to take a moment to say thank you on that. And other comments can wait for the presentation today. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Want to welcome back Commander Kionis, who was doing her patriotic duty as part of the Coast Guard, and we welcome you back.
Yes. It's good to be back.
All right. Public comment?
Public comment is open at this time. We have a total of 6 speakers. 3 e-comments were distributed to all commissioners this morning and were made available. The first speaker will be Andreas Diaz. Speakers, please be mindful you have 2 minutes to speak. Andreas Diaz.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Andrés Díaz y vengo un poquito preocupado en el aspecto de que vivo en MCGRAW, el área de MCGRAW. Es increíble que las personas homeless, entiendo su situación, abran los hidrantes de las esquinas del agua con llaves tan fácilmente que hacen un tiradero de agua. Es increíble que esas personas se las ingenien, tienen llaves para abrir los postes de luz de abajo, de ahí abren las casetas y enchufan cables para agarrar electricidad, para poner sus bocinas y todo eso.
Señor, perdóneme. Muchas personas aquí no hablan español. Yo también no hablo mucho español. ¿Es un interpreter para usted?
Well, I can try my English.
Please, por favor.
You know, sorry about it. So you know what? I'm living in MCGRAW for almost 20 years. So that's incredible that this situation right over there, that because there are a lot of homeless. And the homeless got some tools for open the water on these corners, and they make a lot of water on the street. There are a lot of trash. There are means infection, illness. Same, the electricity, they got some tools to open the electricity. So they got electricity from there. So for the speaker, radios, TVs. So I'm very, very worried about it. And now I'm just telling you, hopefully you do something about it.
Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
your-
much.
Thank you.
Your point was very well made, and your English is perfect. Thank you for switching for us, because what we needed to hear what you had to say, and everyone is not bilingual, although of course, our COO could understand every word you said.
Oh, wow, what I say. So thank you so much.
Gracias.
Oh, forgive me.
And I'm yes.
Me too.
Yes, I was looking out for me then.
No problem.
You're looking out for you and me. Right. All
The
right.
next speaker is Francisco Salcido, who will be followed by Eduardo Martinez.
Hello, good morning. My name is Francisco Salcido. In my personal case, I used to be homeless, and I know how it feels to be on the streets, but it's getting out of hand. I used to go out, and now I'm scared to go out, and I'm being homeless. It was difficult now. I got to read, sadly, more than 100 occupied units in our portfolio sit vacant because of insufficient power. And unoccupied buildings, power failures are causing damage to elevators and other electrical equipment and creating electrical hazards. Homelessness Angelinos need housing, and those who are in affordable housing need equitable electrical power. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to hear that you were unhoused before, and we appreciate your comments.
The next speaker is Eduardo Martinez, who will be followed by Stanley Chapman.
Yes, good morning. My name is Eduardo Martinez, and I've been living here in LA for about 40 years. And I remember when I first came, regionally from Mexico, there were hardly any homeless in LA. Now I'm very sad to see families, older veterans, they put their life to save our country, and going through such a terrible time. We appreciate the Department of Water and Power recent efforts to cooperate with ACL Care Foundation, who are buying old hotels and accommodating homeless as much as they can. But we need you to work harder, faster, especially now, in order to get approvals so we can be able to house people that are lacking a place to stay, because that is probably the saddest thing that people are looking at when they look at the county of LA. And not only the county, I do a lot of traveling, so the whole state, from San Diego to San Francisco. If you go under the freeways, if you look at under the freeways, people are living there, and it's very difficult, and we do need compassion for them. It is a difficult job, but I really appreciate you guys helping and doing as much as you can. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate that.
The next speaker is Stanley Chapman, who will be followed by Mickey Jackson.
Good morning. My name is Stanley Chapman. I was here last month. I'm here with the same folks. I volunteer with AHF Healthy Housing, and we're here to simply reiterate the fact that we have units that are built, we refurbished units that don't have enough power. The units don't have enough power to support being occupied. It's as simple as that. We're here in front of the board because we want to escalate the situation, because we're here with the movers and shakers of the DWP, Department of Water and Power. We need your help. We need your cooperation. We need you to hopefully expedite the situation for us. We know things take time, but we've been waiting. We've been waiting. Units are sitting empty. We can't put people in them because they don't have enough power. Think about if you went home and you had no power in your home. You couldn't inhabit it. You wouldn't like it. Well, we're simply asking for your cooperation because I know the Department of Water and Power can do it. I've had plenty of experience with the Department of Water and Power. I know you can do it, and thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Mickey Jackson, who will be followed by Jaime Rojas.
Good morning. How are you all? You know, we've come here before. We keep coming. I know you share a lot of our frustrations with trying to resolve this problem. And this isn't our first time having problems, you know, all sorts of problems involved with departments in the city and different departments and their different standards. And we get up every morning to this problem. It's very much in our faces. It actually is painful to know you have perfectly good rooms ready to go, and you can't put the people that you see in front of the building, down the street from the building, across the city from the building, in those rooms. It's really very painful. And I hope we can find a solution. I hope you can try to break through some of these barriers that are causing problems. Anything you can do to help us. And any of you are invited to come and see our facilities. If you'd like to, just let us know. And we'll be happy to take you on a tour. We're very proud of what we've done. We do this for a little over $100,000 a room, as opposed to $600,000 and $700,000. And we'd like to share that. So if any of you wish to come and see some of our facilities, just let us know. We're very happy to have people come in and take a look. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a comment. I think we've heard this has been going on for over 2 years. So I just want to assure the board that we have staff dedicated. We have been going out there, taking a look at it. We are putting all the resources on our end to make the project move forward. So there's no lack of interest our staff is on top of it. So if you would like, I would give you a status of where we are with that technical difficulties that we have, because it's not just a matter of just turning on the power and then just powering it. So there's some details that I would like to share with the board.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I would appreciate it, and I'm glad you spoke up in this open forum.
Yeah.
Because I was going to immediately ask, what the blank blank is going on here? Please, somebody tell us.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that it will be you updating us. Thank you.
I assure you that everybody in the LADWP staff is very focused on making sure that these problems are resolved. But there are issues that the board needs to know about, what the limitations are from infrastructure perspective and cost sharing perspective, that we would give you an update on it.
Thank you.
Look forward to it, Arm.
Yes.
And safety perspective too.
And safety.
That's the most critical aspect of this, right? So I'm tracking this project very closely, but I cannot put infrastructure in place if it's not safe.
Yeah.
We understand.
So we'll get
And we
you.
wouldn't ask you to.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get you a status on where we are today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The next speaker is Jaime Rojas.
Good evening, board. How much time do I have, just out of curiosity? 2 minutes, great. My name is Jaime Rojas with Rojas Public Affairs. I am protesting item N2 for the state legislative advocacy. We submitted to the board letters coming from the LA Chamber as well as to Diversity Council downstairs. We submitted and went through the whole process. The utility buyer and the staff was been great to us. They could not find the proposal within the system. It took Mr. Jose Carlos about 4 weeks to go through it, couldn't find it. They couldn't even find us accessing it, which is hard to believe, even my ring, and I can see who comes in and comes out. We're born and raised here, grew up in Pico Union. went to Loyola High School, USC undergrad, grad school, taught at USC, worked in the Clinton White House. We do local, state, federal. 5 years ago, we came in third place for federal. They told us in the exit interview we needed more local government experience, more water experience. We got that. We have water clients. We have City of Bishop as a client, in particularly because it's surrounded by DWP. We have 13 federal municipal clients. We have 11 federal and state and federal clients. In the past 3 years, we've gotten them over $80 million in earmarked and state member requests. All I'm asking, KP Public Affairs is a great firm. It goes unwritten rule. If they get it in the next 5 years and they do a great job, we just don't apply even an open RFP. It's just, amongst thieves, we just don't do that. I'm asking for the staff to review our RFP of 71 pages. It'll take a day or 2 or 3, depending on what it is. Our clients who we submitted the surveys way in advance, all documented, are ready to talk to staff and seeing if we're able to meet those needs and interview. So I appreciate, hopefully, that opportunity. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming forward today and for the letter as well. We got the letter and been talking to our council about what the options are and figuring out, if there was a equipment issue or exactly what happened, and we will get back to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Public comment is closed at this time.
Okay, thank you all. Janice?
Yes, good morning. Okay, so let's start with a big item. We have organizational changes to announce today. First one is Mr. Dave Hansen. Dave, you want to say hi?
Hello.
He's not leaving already, is he?
So Dave is going to he has been appointed our interim AGM, Senior Assistant General Manager for Power System, and he's reporting to Aram as our COO. He's been with the department more than 20 years, and he has done anything from electric mechanic, construction, and now he gets to lead this organization. His most recent role was the Director of Power Construction and Maintenance, and before that, Dave is a very proud military member. He was a nuke in the Navy, which has, as an EM, electrician's maid, and he brings that military leadership to this role, which I appreciate. I can talk to him in military terms and non-military terms, and we understand each other very well. So I'm very happy to have Dave supporting our power system organization, and looking forward to the next couple of months as we reshape the future of power. I also want to introduce our new Chief People Officer. She's sitting on the audience, Tracy Pierce. Tracy joined us yesterday. She has over 30 years on HR experience with many roles of leadership in technology and healthcare, and her role really is to look at our human resources organization and processes and create new organizations to support the well-being of our employees and make sure that we develop the workforce of the future in order to maintain our long-term planning and ensure success from a people perspective. I think she's our first ever Chief People Officer, and that's a big change for the department when we think about the holistic well-being of our workforce. Also, we have made 2 changes. The IT organization and the safety organization are now reporting directly to me. IT is really important from a system perspective. Our department needs revamping of a lot of our systems to make sure that we come to the 2024 year and beyond, and also have an enterprise view of all the tools that we need. And then safety is my number 1 value for this organization, and as such, I want to make sure that the organization understand how important it is because it reports directly to me, but also that we have an enterprise safety management system, which brings me to the all hands that we had last week, which included an introduction to the safety management system, which is a system that we're going to be implementing in the department to look at everything that encompasses safety from a systematic approach, not just data, incident reactive posture. And we also, on that all hands, we presented about our IPP Renewed project, which is our hydrogen project in Utah, and it was really well received by our workforce. I think that our workforce is really enjoying the sharing of information on what's going on in the department and how we're moving to a sustainable future. It's really easy to talk about it, but when you start seeing it and seeing progress, like people get excited and they're all on board. Commissioner KATZ just mentioned our Cool LA heat relief event yesterday in Pacoima. We partnered with Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez in District 7 and the Department of Aging in Pacoima Beautiful to ensure that we have a good attendance and we deliver about 500 AC units to our elderly community that's underserved to ensure that we support their health well-being and also enroll them in our low-income programs to ensure that they're able to pay their bills as they use air conditioning to stay safe. We mentioned yesterday on the event that LA in the last 100 years has increased the heat temperature 3 times, and about 20% of our population is in the elderly population. So we have to be very conscious about how do we support our customers as the heat continues to impact the region and California in general. We also had last week we had a visit to the Port of LA where I met with Jean Soroka, the executive director, and we discussed the electrification of the port and how we're going to come together as one team to make sure that DWP is enabling their transition to electrification and getting the teams together. Dave was in that meeting, and it was a really, really successful meeting. We had a great visit with their team and building that relationship to make sure that we're able to support them the way they need to be supported, not just from electrification of the cranes, but also EV fleet for high and medium truck sizes that are coming in the area. And then last board, we had the Bring Your Children to Work Day event. My son was in the audience, and I'm happy to report we had over 500 children from elementary to high school, and it was a very successful day. It was our second time we've done this event in the company, and one that we expect to do every year. The energy on the company that day on the building was very exciting, and it was a really, really fun day. It's one of those days I go home and I'm like smiling until I fall asleep. So there's some slides that we're going to show to the team. I want to make sure that I acknowledge the DEI and corporate communication teams for putting this event together. We had union participation and a lot of our NGOs supporting our kids in the event, and there was a lot of interest on answering questions and understanding what we do, and our kids were very active, and that day I think our employees really enjoyed this day.
Uh-oh, that'll teach me to stay out of the audience.
Awesome. And the last thing I have, yesterday was Women's Equality Day, a big day for acknowledging just women in general and how we've moved through history. Today I have a special event that I'm attending at the Latina Public Service Academy. They're doing their 10-year anniversary, and that academy provides training for high school Latinas, which is near and dear to my life. I spend a lot of time mentoring and coaching our young women, especially women of color, and especially Latinas, because I can relate to them closely. But today is a special day because I'm going to be honored with 5 other Latinas in the LA area. So I'm looking forward to the event today and making sure that I continue to be a role model to the new generation that's coming through the ranks. And that's all I have.
Congratulations on that honor. We're really grateful for your leadership on many fronts, but especially the way in which you are, paving a path for many generations to come. So thank you.
No, thank you, and thanks for the report. David, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you. And also,
Tracy.
I can remember, I'm trying to remember that, but no, Tracy, thank you. It's good to see you again. Welcome. And like the slides, I liked a lot of future DWP employees, I think, in those slides. We have, introduced early and bring them into the culture and, or learn culture from them, one or the other, or both. But
Pre-program them. Pre-program.
yeah.
And next year, I hope some of us commissioners can bring in our grandchildren.
Yeah, they were all welcome. We had nieces, nephews, grandchildren, kids. It was a fun day.
I know an Amos who would want to be a lineman for sure, climb up as high up as he can. So,
All right, moving right along. Dr. Pickle, you're up.
Just one brief comment. Item N1 raises a question on the motion that was proposed by the chair in July 25th to bring a policy memo forward on hazardous waste. We hope that'll be coming up in the near future.
Great. When we have that, we'll circulate it and bring it before the commission. So. All right. Thank you, Fred, for that. Let's see. We're on G. Items for approval. N2 is deferred on G. Other than that, motion and a second to approve whatever's still on G.
Motion to approve items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Thank you. And a second also.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Pinder. Without objection, all members present as aye votes, that they all pass forward.
No objections.
No. I'm sorry?
No objections.
Is Tillman in there?
Yes.
Okay, Mia, I think you need to abstain on that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we'll call that one special. So let me revise that. Motion to approve.
Everything other than.
Yes. Items 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
That'll be the motion. All of us present voting aye, except for Ms. Lear. And then on, which was the one you pulled out?
Do you want to do number 4 now and have Mia step out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a quick walk around the desk and we'll be done by the time.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right. How about that? Motion and a second on that one.
Motion to approve item 4.
Right. Yeah, Mia has to recuse herself because of a conflict. So without objection, same motion and second, and all members present, all 3 of us as aye votes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Mia, you're welcome back now. Okay, we got that all taken care of. Management reports, biodiversity.
I don't think so. I think everybody else was talking about this thing.
Okay, we have a whole crew. Good.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see you.
Thank you.
right.
Somebody please start, because
Okay,
for
good
me, we're in
morning.
trouble.
But I think they're ready now.
It's going to be the best presentation you've ever seen. Good morning, Board President and board members. Thank you for having us here today to go over our LADWP's Biodiversity Plan. My name is Catherine Rubin. I'm the Director of Corporate Environmental Affairs, and here to my right, I have Maria Cison with Corporate Sustainability, and Noe Gomez Romero, the Park Maintenance Supervisor, and John Willett, the Senior Gardener, who both are with Facility Management. All right. So to start off, to begin, we had a motion 25A, council file number, it was the 15-0499, and it directed LA SAN in 2017 to lead the city of LA in biodiversity actions and create the Biodiversity Index to measure progress. And then again in 2022, LA SAN was asked to provide updates to what was known then as the Energy, Climate Change, Environmental Justice and Power Committee, now the E&E Committee. And all 14 departments have been tasked to provide LA SAN their biodiversity progress and goals as part of the city's biodiversity plan. So our part of the progress report is with our CEO right now for her approval, and when she's done, we are targeting to put that or turn that in by the end of the month. So there was a expert council that was created, which our Commissioner KATZ is a part of, and there are 3 index themes here that you can see. The native species protection and enhancement, our social equity consideration, and our governance management. And as part of those 3 themes, they also created what's called these biodiversity index indicators. And these are used to measure our progress in our biodiversity plans. And the first 3 indicators are with the first theme, which is the native species protection and enhancement. And then the other 3, the 4 through 6, are with the social equity consideration theme. And then 7 and 8 indexes are a part of the governance management theme. Sorry. So moving on to speak about what we have done so far. First of all, we had the adoption of our biodiversity motion that was done by our Commissioner KATZ on March 26, 2024. And then other progresses that we've done is that we voluntarily went into an agreement with the Use and Fish and Wildlife Service on a take permit to create at least 6 California condor chicks. And we have been doing that with the Johnson Center for Wildlife Conservation in Oregon. We've also, as you know, passed a city ordinance, and this was back in 1994, to place the Chatsworth Reservoir as the nature preserve, and that's about 1,325 acres of open space where we preserve it for education and also preservation. And we also have the biological assessments at the Hollywood Reservoir, which you were a part of when we did the biodiversity garden not too long ago. And so with that, I will hand it over to Maria.
Good morning, Commissioners. Maria Cison Rosas, Manager of Corporate Sustainability Programs. I'm here to present a few more bullet points on our biodiversity progress highlights from last fiscal year that you see on this slide. And then I'll pass it on to our landscaping team so that they can share some of the amazing projects that they've been working on. And then I'll come back to report on our current fiscal year goals and activities. I hope that sequencing approach can work well. First, we want to say that partnership is a key theme in our biodiversity efforts. We'll start off first with the partnership, the long-standing partnership with City Plants. You may all be familiar with them. They're the nonprofit organization that provides free trees for LADWP customers, City of LA residents, homeowners, apartments, schools, and businesses. They also plant trees all over Los Angeles, and they focus on low canopy tree areas. This program is administered by our Efficiency Solutions team under Ashley Negrete. And in terms of metrics, we want to share that last fiscal year, over 9,000 trees were adopted, delivered, planted, and that's the equivalent of about 6 million kWh of energy savings. We also have a partnership with EPRI, the Electric Power Research Institute. We're members of their Power and Pollinators program. This is an electric utility industry collaboration with around 25 utilities in North America. EPRI hosts their National Pollinator Virtual event every year to help increase awareness on pollinators and also to highlight the fact that utilities own vast amounts of land and therefore play a vital role in managing these lands and protecting pollinator habitat. This year, the event had a reach of over 2 million views, and it grows each year. It's a pretty successful program. And EPRI also hosts a pollinator dashboard. And last fiscal year, we added 3 more pollinator sites in this dashboard. And DWP now has a total of 12 pollinator sites, totaling more than 1,500 acres. In the area of new employee orientation, we have a sustainability module where we now share our biodiversity initiatives. It's a really nice way to engage our new employees, the next generation, let them know what's going on at our facilities and land holdings in terms of nature-based solutions, and hopefully inspire them to think of biodiversity and nature and keep it top of mind as they work on their various projects. We also engage in citizen science projects. These are BioBlitz activities using apps such as iNaturalist, and we're beginning to highlight our various facilities, at least the ones that are open to the public. And these events are typically coordinated through our LADWP Green team. So I'm going to pause there and pass the next couple of slides to Noe Gomez-Romero and John Willett in our landscaping team.
How you doing? So yeah, it's a pleasure having us here. We're so excited to be able to show you all a little bit what we do out there, and it's just super important us as a landscape group to be here to thank you all for the opportunity to be able to create these beautiful landscapes out here that we create. Like for instance, if you guys look at some of the pictures where you can see a Valley Steam Plant, that's our kind of like where we started. We have a nursery / pollinator presentational garden for our employees because we're the only ones that are allowed in there. So really nice educational garden. We have different types of citrus trees, different types of ground cover plants, and every single day you're there, it's peaceful. You see hummingbirds everywhere, birds chirping, squirrels coming out. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful area to sit down and have your lunch. So that's what we've been motivated to do in every single one of our facilities, is to be able to incorporate this California-friendly, drought-tolerant landscapes to not just urban areas, but rural areas, city areas. There's a lot of buildings. So any little spot that has some type of soil, we like to add at least California native or a pollinator-friendly plant, so because we're trying to give back to the environment, help our squirrels, our ground squirrels. There's like millions of types of bees that we have here that are native as well too. So we're trying to bring all that, and not just for our company as LADWP, but as a whole group to the citizens of Los Angeles. Just because it's amazing to us how much the public actually loves gardening. So when they see us doing it, they ask us questions. They approach us, oh, wow, what are you doing here? And we let them know that what we're doing out here is giving at least 85% of California native drought-tolerant landscape plants into our facilities, so that way our bees are not struggling, our butterflies, sadly our monarchs are starting to disappear. Yes, and we are. I get so happy, and it's funny because my wife, now I have her doing it. Every time I see a butterfly, oh, look, the monarch, look, so it makes me happy knowing that I'm making a difference, and us as a landscape group are also making differences. So we take also our part and try to educate our own landscapers, our own group. So when we do our biweekly safety meetings, we do, John here, our plant expert, he does do plant identification classes. So what is this? What to look for, how to treat it if there's an infection. So we try to educate ourselves first before we go out there and do our jobs. And because it's so important to be able to keep up with it, due to climate change, it's really hard to keep a plant alive now, just because one day it would rain and you think it's going to be fine, and the next 2 weeks is going to be super, like 100 to 102 degrees. So it's hard to maintain, but knowing what you're doing and the type of plant that you're planting and giving the ability for everything to be able to thrive out there, I think it's just amazing. But yeah, these are some of the projects that we're doing. Our Airbnb that's at Hollywood Reservoir, really beautiful. The community there was super excited about what we were doing, and nothing but good compliments. They were also letting us know that they were going to implement those plants into their gardens, which is beautiful. Just that was the whole point of it. It's an educational thing, and we'd love to see it. Our Temple Street job, if you guys get a chance to drive down there, it looks so beautiful, so peaceful, and a garden compared to seeing just soil everywhere, I mean, it makes a big difference, especially to the public. So it's we're really excited, and John right here will talk about a little bit of the plants that we're using and why we're using them. And so go ahead, John. Thank you.
Good morning. Very happy to be here and share some of this information with you all. I recognize some of your faces from dedicating the pollinator garden at Hollywood Reservoir. Good to see you all. So the Temple project, we actually utilized a crew from PCNM. So we thank Mr. Hansen and his previous associates for all their contributions in that regard. So we, like Noe said, we've been using a lot more California natives. So we've been using a lot of Asclepias fascicularis, the narrowleaf milkweed, specifically.
Off.
That's why he's here.
Do we have a slide after this one to show the plants?
Unfortunately, I do not have a slide.
We don't have that.
They were forced to keep, a small number of slides.
Go ahead, John.
Thank you.
But that's the one that supports the monarchs you were asking about.
Yes, so that's one of the most widespread California native milkweeds. There are a number of varieties of milkweed. That's the most common one. I actually have some in my yard. And we have actually seen, we've been using a number of milkweed species over the years, and we've seen immediate impact. As soon as we finish these projects, you begin to see butterflies and hummingbirds. And at the Temple Street project, we planted some salvias, and we actually had a hummingbird show up while the plants were being put in the ground.
Nice.
For the first time. And so, of course, people enjoy seeing that. And there is also a compound benefit of cooling as you put plants in and trees, as opposed to just having bare soil or cement. And then at DS29, we recently did a project there on Sunset, and we had a number of people express surprise that any of those plants could be California natives, because it's springtime, so there's a lot of flowers, a lot of California poppies, and we put some native iris. Mm-hmm. And so I had the opportunity to explain that yes, in fact, these are California natives, and you can certainly use these in your own garden at home. And everything from California poppies to native iris to blue-eyed grass. We have hummingbird sage and manzanita and all sorts of stuff on that project. So, and people do appreciate, they do notice the impact. And so it's been a joy to do.
Thank you.
The next slide.
Do we ever go into the, particularly could be all the way up to high school, do we ever go into the schools? To be a landscaper, which many people don't know, to me that's as important as being an engineer. It is, we need two hands clapping, meaning we need everyone all the time. And I'm not sure that we talk a lot about our engineers and our this and that, but I'm not sure that the community, that the schools know we have everything going here, that we care about the earth, the water, the sky, the plants, the birds, the butterflies. So do we have any program where
I know
any
we
of our
did
landscapes-
I was part of a career day for Gala, which is a girls' academy, and we did talk some about the wide range of career opportunities at DWP, not only in engineering or in water or in power, but also in these areas. But I don't know if we have other workforce development. Does anyone know if we've done anything
And
on
I'm
that?
saying it more broadly than that, because I grew up in the Los Angeles City schools. I mean, I knew what it was to plant something. It was just part of the curriculum. And they had people that came in. I mean, I could identify butterflies back in the day. It was all part of the school system. And it does make you a little more sensitive, and then people don't even think of it as a career anymore. But if we were teaching our children at a earlier age, or exposing them to, not totally as a career day, but just sensitizing them. So if that is something we can do or can encourage, I would certainly like to see. I mean, that's a long-term thing. We need to be talking with the school board and everything else. But I just want
Good
to
added to the
encourage you.
biodiversity plan.
Yeah, we do
I believe some
have
schools do have vegetable gardens, and I believe they do have programs that do help kids come out and plant, because I do see sometimes kids with little plants or our work location is there in El Sereno, and the school, actually, when you drive down, there's an area where they do have pots and pots, and you see lettuces growing out. So I figured it was the kids that are the ones that are planting it. So I've loved that as well too. Trust me. And a goal of ours is to be able to have time and the staff to be able to educate just the public. One day have a meeting, have everybody there, show them what we do, how to propagate, California natives, poppies, how to milkweed seeds, so how to propagate so they can, not be scared as well, being out there getting dirty. So a lot of kids now are scared of bees and butterflies, and and to me it's funny because I grew up rolling around in the dirt, just like a lot of us did. But that's one of our goals as well too.
You're right.
So I would
bring them to our place.
So I would be remiss if I didn't, for 1 minute, talk about landscape architecture, because I think we finally got a landscape architecture graduate on your team. I don't know if any of you know who Frederick Law Olmsted was. He created the movement of parks that started in New York. After he was in the Army, he went to Europe, comes back, realizes there's parks over there, so let's make parks. He comes to California. He was the first one to do a master plan for the LA River, by the way. When Jackie Goldberg and I read that document, she started crying because it existed a long time ago. But anyway, it's a profession I'm very proud of. Also, Jack Dangerman, who created ESRI, is a landscape architect out of Redlands, so a lot of California creds. I think it's wonderful to be thinking about how my profession brings value, and there are a lot of graduates from the Cal Polys who are doing wonderful work. You also have a wonderful director at UC Berkeley, and Cal Poly Pomona, the professor there, Claire Latney, wrote a book about green schoolyards, which you might want to look at. But I think there are a lot of young graduates from any of the programs, including the extension program from UCLA, who would probably be very interested in sharing. And otherwise, UCLA Extension has a series of programs that they've created. There's so many of them. I was thinking it was a little watered down, but I'd like to share them with you because it could bring, some value to how you work with younger people. And otherwise, the last thing is I'd like to promote the idea of tree ambassadors. So I see the trees that are given out and half of them die. Okay, so I like to think that, and I've been talking to Aaron Gross, who's not here right now, but about that when we work with just making sure trees stay alive, because planting them is one thing, but having them stay alive is another. I also designed the Natural History Museum gardens, just so.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think, Aram, did you have something to add on the workforce?
Just kind of picking up on all the conversation. I have 4 points. I think Commissioner LEHRER brought this idea of an expert trained architect, landscape architect. We used to have that class since Tracy is here. We used to have that classification at the department, but now it's with the Bureau of Engineering. So we're trying to bring that classification back and have that expertise develop in there, so on the technical. So that's point one. Point two is Commissioner Pinder brought up the education. So it's just the school education and the public education is the core of the teams that we have to make sure that we start early and appreciate the conservation and appreciation of what this team presented, and the passion you hear here needs to transfer to the public.
Absolutely.
Item number 3 is the one that you asked about, the career path for landscape. We have the UPCT program under John Smith and the union. And we have community hires that are very much interested in going into the career of landscape, designing landscape, installing landscape on the blue collar side. And that's a program, the blue collar side. And about 15 years ago, we started introducing the different opportunities for us for placing the UPCTs in different parts of the organization that actually can have a career path going forward. So that's item number 3. And the last item is, we've asked our organization to be the model of how our facilities are efficient.
Yes.
And we have 160 plus distributing station on the power side, and we have hundreds and dozens of water facilities. So each of the facilities, you've seen some pictures of it, but each facility should be the poster child of how efficiency is done and how landscape can bring beauty, and the communities will enjoy our facilities instead of having a sore, kind of a kind of faceless facility that does water and power, which is very important.
Yes.
But why can't we integrate that? So that mentality needs to be integrated into our facility design. So those are the 4 points just for the conversation.
And I'll just double down on the last point you made. It's the way we're changing, the way we're looking at projects is multi-benefit projects, right? So whenever we touch a project, we look at everything that we can do to leave the community better than we found it. And I love to hear my plan whispers here and their passion, because I'm pretty sure now you see how your job integrates into the long-term sustainability strategy of the department. It's not just about keeping landscape in our facilities, but how do we actually have equity and sustainability and a comprehensive system way for our customers, and everybody in the department has that role to play on that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. And I would be remiss if I don't bring LA Trade Tech up as a wonderful school to consider. I'd love at some point to have a conversation, because AI is going to be a big factor in all of this.
Yes, it is already.
I have a few comments, but I'm going to wait till the last slide, so please continue.
I just also wanted to address Commissioner Pinder about the younger children in education. There are other groups like the Los Cerrillos Wetlands Authority. We have that wetlands right below Haynes Generating Station, and they bring children in from the inland areas in the disadvantaged communities to come down and learn about the plants and everything that they're doing there at the wetlands, which is really wonderful.
Because you all are all part of my education as a relatively new commissioner. So I don't know if I'll ever understand all the tenets that we have out into the communities, but thank you for stating that.
Of course.
Right. John will do this slide.
And John, go ahead. Yeah.
No, we spoke about this a little bit, but just to reiterate, so the Biodiversity Challenge, the Bio Blitz Challenge is something that we're doing in conjunction with EPRI that she had mentioned, and so that's one of the ways that we're educating the public. And it's basically you go to a garden site or a landscape site that we have, and if you see a pollinator out, in its native habitat, take a picture and tag it on iNaturalist, and that's one way to track the different plants and animals that we encounter at our facilities, and also, again, just to get the public excited about what we're doing and long-term sustainability and biodiversity.
Anything else you want to add about this? Okay, next slide.
Yeah, so it's really a great collaboration all throughout. I do just want to add too that under David Jaco's team, there is an MOU with the LA Unified School District where the focus is energy efficiency and water conservation, but there's a little bit of discussion with their with Christos, who's their sustainability person at LA Unified, to see if we can expand the definition and include biodiversity collaborations with LA Unified. So that's a work in progress, commissioners. And just to recap, so we just presented the highlights for the last fiscal year, and we kind of want to focus on this current fiscal year, some of the things that we're working on. There's a lot of words on these next few slides, but we'll just summarize and take the high level points from each of the slides. For this one, first, with the biodiversity motion that's now in place, thanks to this board, part of the plan is to establish a biodiversity task force with representatives from across LADWP at responsible levels to help provide structure and elevate biodiversity and project planning and design. It's already happening at certain levels right now. We have folks who we go to, but this will help formalize the process. We're going to explore biodiversity opportunities in the context of LA 100, Urban Water Management Plan, transmission right-of-way policies, wildfire risk management plans, among others, while addressing equity and opportunities for disadvantaged communities for habitat connectivity, access to nature, green spaces, and urban heat island impacts. So yesterday, commissioners, we learned that LA SAN is developing the city's local biodiversity strategy and action plan. Around 14 city departments are engaging in this. So it's a great way for our DWP task force to help define our strategies for biodiversity, bring it up the chain to our COO and CEO and our executives, and fully support the city's overall biodiversity efforts. And at the same time, identify and address resources and resource gaps. We talked about civil service classifications that we need but don't currently have, such as urban ecologist or landscape architect. We'll continue to use the environmental review process that's managed by Catherine and her environmental team as a tool for the sustainability team to connect with project administrators on a day-to-day basis. Next slide, please. So we'll also continue with biological assessments of key DWP properties. We list some of them here: Stone Canyon and Encino Reservoir, and natural lands by in the Santa Monica Mountains. This work is happening through Helen Olivares, property manager in our water system, and the environmental team under Catherine. We also have our work in the Eastern Sierras to fund forest, ecology, and recreation projects in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service, National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, Mono County, and the Eastern Sierra Council of Governments. Our acting Chief Sustainability Officer, Aaron Gross, is involved in this effort. So partnerships, again, are very important. We'll just continue to ensure that we can make lasting impacts that benefit disadvantaged communities. And just in response to the commissioner's comments, too, one example of such partnership is with our city plants. They are partnering with CSUN, which has a high rate of disadvantaged student population, and they are right now engaging with the Tribal Conservation Corps for the planting of trees. Next slide, please. So we'll continue to collaborate with research universities, nonprofits, and industry partners. And internally, for the messaging is also a very important part of our efforts. So internally, we're working with our communications team under Joe to update our sustainability webpage and to highlight our biodiversity efforts. We're working with them to update signage at our facilities with pollinator gardens, QR codes that lead to various rebates and incentives, such as DWP's turf rebate program and the California Friendly Landscaping Program. And this is managed by our water conservation policy folks under Terrence McCarthy and Mark Gentili. And likewise, training and awareness for our own employees and events and field trips that are typically planned by our very own LADWP Green Team.
And next slide, please. So this is our last slide. We're so excited about this, commissioners. It's a project that we are doing with the EPRI. It's the first of its kind, we believe, and it's to analyze and estimate nature-based carbon stored in LADWP natural lands, so sink or source. This will cover our properties in LA City all the way up to Owens Valley, including transmission right-of-ways, water reservoirs, and land holdings an acre and above. And we're working closely with Lori Dermody in our Bishop office and also Adriana Rubalcava, who heads up our real estate team, for the corresponding GIS files. This project is going to take a science-based approach. EPRI will use IPCC calculators and models, IPCC being the International Panel on Climate Change. The project is right in line with the overarching policy drivers, the biodiversity motion that was approved by this board in March, the California Governor's 30 by 30 executive order to conserve 30% of California's lands and coastal waters by 2030, LA's Green New Deal with a goal of no net loss biodiversity, and the Mayor's Monarch Pledge, which Mayor Karen Bass signed earlier this year. So this carbon analysis, we believe, will serve as DWP's framework to prioritize and advance projects for biodiversity assessments. It will help inform our landscaping and integrated vegetation management practices to improve carbon storage in our land holdings, and also help our sustainability reporting while prioritizing equity and transparency. A few other utilities have done this, and like them, we hope to better understand DWP's nature-related dependencies, impacts, risks, and opportunities. This can also help serve as the foundation for LADWP's nature strategy that would complement the larger decarbonization and watershed goals. So I think that's the end of it. We have many different parts and pieces to this, many groups involved both internally and lots of external partners, and we just want to take this opportunity to thank this board for its leadership, and especially thank Commissioners NURIT, KATZ, and Mia LEHRER for their continued guidance. So this concludes our presentation.
Thank you very much. Go ahead. No, you can go first. I have a number of comments, so please, if you have questions or anything. Okay. I want to echo the thank you to Commissioner LEHRER, who is the other commissioner on our subcommittee for the board, or committee for the board on biodiversity, access to nature, nature-based solutions. This is an incredible presentation. We really appreciate the update, which was requested in the motion, and the continued attention on this. This planning that's been done as part of the departmental reporting also provides a really great foundation for developing a true biodiversity and nature-based solutions action plan. As the motion called for, the City of LA is going to be developing a citywide biodiversity action plan, and LADWP, among the city departments, is definitely a strong leader in this space, and will have an opportunity to contribute to setting those goals for the whole city and developing a plan that really integrates all of this together. So I had a few different things I wanted to comment on. One is really the integrated and systems-based approach that you're taking, which is exemplified by our new CEO in understanding the approach and the multi-benefit focus. I really think that is critical, and also, again, a leadership position where DWP is really showing what it means to really understand these connections. In my comments about water earlier, I neglected to mention from the last meeting that I also was very glad to see that Water System put forward a motion to officially adopt the county water plan. I know LADWP has played a big role in that, and these challenges from biodiversity to climate to water cannot be solved by ourselves. As you said in your presentation, it's all about partnership and taking this regional approach. So I was glad to see the county water plan is creating a nature-based solutions focus, which DWP I'm sure will be a big part of. And to me, that's just a perfect example of how this really is core to what we do as a utility. We are, in addition to providing, water and power, or as part of providing water and power, we are also the caretakers, as we've talked about, of over 300,000 acres of land, which makes us essentially a natural resource agency in addition. And ensuring ensuring that we keep that watershed healthy for future generations is key here. And we started the meeting today talking about everyone bringing their kids to work. And ultimately, that's what this work is about. There's a quote from Nelson Henderson that the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you don't expect to sit. So we're making a difference for our community today, but you're also making changes that are going to impact the generations to come as these little kids grow up and the grandkids, that our commissioners mentioned. So that is really powerful and important here. I also just want to share that this is something that's very important to the community. I was contacted by the Community Forest Action or Advisory Committee, CFAC, which is a city body raising exactly this issue about DWP facilities in the community. And I know that they'll be very pleased to watch this presentation today and see the progress that is being made to enhance access to nature for our communities, especially disadvantaged communities in areas that have historically lacked green space. So thank you for that. And then lastly, I wanted to share that I had a recent meeting with our Deputy Secretary for Biodiversity and Habitat. So this is leadership at the state level, and was able to share some of the work that you're doing with our state leaders, and just really proud of what you all are doing, and you should be as well. It's really a leadership position. It will also be highlighted this fall. I will be attending, and I believe Commissioner LEHRER may as well, the UN Conference on Biodiversity. So we will be sharing some of this work, and LA City will share some of this work on the global scale. So it is really impactful, and you should be really proud of all of it. And I look forward to seeing it continue to evolve. I do have one request that came out of that conversation at the state level. You mentioned the 30 by 30 target. So I think there are lands that DWP already maintains at a conservation level that would qualify to contribute to the state goals. For example, Chatsworth Nature Preserve. So I'll share some resources on what the codes are and what qualifies, but it would be great to highlight that conservation work that DWP has already undertaken and contribute to that statewide goal. So again, thank you so much for being here today and for the work that you're doing, and I look forward to continue supporting the incredible staff on all of this. Oh, one last comment. The Airbnb, just for the record, because people may not have been able to see the slide, is B like B-E-E. We do not have an Airbnb for DWP. This is a native bee house. It's for the native bees. So I just wanted to make sure on the record that
It's free for the bees.
Yeah, exactly. It's free for the bees, and it is, Airbnb. Yeah, thank you very much, all of you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I'd like to, if it's okay. I'd like to thank all of you for the really hard work and, the tremendous progress in the few years I've been here. I also want to challenge you to make sure that, all these, the little buildings that are around the city where we have energy and, mostly the little power plants everywhere, that we focus on them a little bit more, because people say, yeah, you guys talk a big talk, but look at that. And so and there's opportunities there, so I just, I think those are they happen in every part of the city or the metropolitan area. So from the wealthy to the less wealthy can all benefit and see the progress, right? So, there's a student at UCLA who's tracking and photographing all because I bring them up periodically, and then I say, oh my God, I didn't have anything to do with it. But, just look around. And I think the biodiversity index, but also the program that started at Natural History Museum, the BioBlitz, is fabulous because it brings us to the rest of the world, right? Mm-hmm. People go, they participate in a wonderful way, and they're very competitive. San Francisco, is competitive with Los Angeles, and I think even Paris participated. So, and that brings me to the Olympics. I think it's a great moment in time for us to really sort of think about what are we going to do that it obviously contributes meaningfully. And if Paris planted 3,000 trees, I think we should plant 100,000.
That's my goal. And we need to find some large areas with shade where you could put them in so that they can grow from 15 to 24 or 36-inch boxes before we put them out there.
Yeah.
So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to have some hats made so you can all go around with the hats.
On that tree topic, I neglected to mention with the tree ambassador idea, Mia, that we are putting that into place. So DWP is funding through city plants already a tree ambassador program that is a grassroots bilingual community organizing pilot program dedicated to amplifying community voices and planting trees in historically disinvested communities in Los Angeles. So thank you for that. Yeah. Richard?
So why is LA Sand missing in this?
I had the same question.
Oh, messing. in
Oh,
this.
why are
Because-
they the responsible party? I think,
Because
so.
one of the problems in the city
Yeah.
is, people develop silos.
Yes.
And concentrate, they want to keep stuff in and,
Yeah.
and the cool thing about plants is they grow everywhere and they,
Yeah.
and if we're doing it right, they keep growing.
So the biodiversity program was created after the city council motion in 2017. And, LA Sanitation, the full LA SAN stands for, LA Sanitation and Environment. And so they house a number of important environmental programs for the city already. So I think that was where it was chosen to be housed, but it is very much a citywide program. And so although the staff might be under LA SAN, we have an expert council of outside experts advising this for the city. There's also an interdepartmental team, which LADWP is part of. So many departments of the city are engaged in this effort. And it's really just the sort of administration coordination that's under LA SAN. So there's a big interdepartmental team, and then again, the outside experts, which include researchers, natural resource agencies, key stakeholders in this. So it's been a good structure, and I think it is managing to be really citywide. And then there are 14 city departments that report each year, like DWP is doing, and are integrating, including LA Fire.
I think
parks,
I
et
think
cetera.
it's fair to say, and especially with our new general manager, that what you bring up, that there are some dysfunctions in the city. Parks, for example, are designed under the Bureau of Engineering, and that Rec and Parks gets very little funding to be involved in that process, which is kind of bizarre. So, engineering wins. I know that's okay, but I think there's some things to work out that one could be involved in. What would be the most effective way to deliver parks, and by that token, to deliver some of what you're wanting to deliver.
But I'll just say, Mia, we are working very strongly on the relationship with all the city departments, especially LA SAN as a huge partner on the water side, but also in the biodiversity aspect of it. And we are better when we work together. I think that I can only do so much from the DWP perspective, but I can do a lot more from a city perspective. And this team, you don't have to sell them on this. They believe on this through their hearts, right? So I think the message is really for the operational team to understand the importance of why we're doing and how do we incorporate this, because rightfully so, when we're operators, we want to operate our system, and we don't necessarily always think about the comprehensive nature of what we're doing and how we're impacting communities. And so the job that has to happen in DWP is making sure that every single employee understands how they contribute to the sustainability of the city in their role, and they're advocating and always thinking about what else can we do from the community based on the regulations that we operate by. And I think that we're making great progress in that, and more progress is needed, and reinforcing that message across the board so our communities feel it. We can talk about reporting all the time, but it's not until the communities see it, feel it, see the butterflies coming out again, the monarch population growing, that is actually something that it's near and here to their hearts, because they're experiencing a different environment.
Right. And we'd be remiss if we didn't say that maintenance and operations for these facilities becomes really important, right? So that's where the ambassadors, mini ambassadors or future ambassadors could help.
definitely.
If I may, Commissioners, just a special shout out to Mr. Tom Desmet, who's our Director of Facilities, and he's always been very supportive of all of our efforts too.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think this move to create a task force or working group is really important because, as is made clear in all of this, when biodiversity and sustainability as well really cut across every aspect of what we do. And so you need everybody at the table, operations, construction, facilities, everybody's got to work together on this. So I want to applaud that cross-department effort. Just like there are silos in the city, as Richard was sharing, there can be silos within DWP. We all know that. And so this work is really helping to ensure that we're working together on these, really interdisciplinary, interdepartmental, issues. So thank you for that.
No silos here, of course, but anyway.
Right, no silos here.
Catherine, Kim, thank you very much for everything you're doing and for going above and beyond. We appreciate it. And anybody want any other comments to add on this, other than we're all on board and let's go home and plant something.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, I think Ben, you're up.
No.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have
I think we still got,
still have a few, we have I, J, K, L, and M.
We did that already. I was hoping we'd done that already. All right.
Well, on I, Richard and I together this morning had the audit committee and heard some important presentations regarding audit plans as well as audits that have been completed. There were no voting items at that committee meeting.
Okay. Any others? Okay, filed items, compliance reports, blah, blah, blah. Motion for the minutes of August 13th.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Motion and a second. All members present as I votes on that.
Yes.
Any motions for future consideration? Anybody from neighborhood councils?
No community impact statements were filed.
Okay. Items N.
All complete.
Did that. Sounds good then.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now can we do what I want to do? Thank you.
now,
Ben?
yes, the board shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention of every member present thereon in accordance with section 54957.1 of the California Government Code.
Okay, so we will now go into closed session to do some business. That's it.